Hello, hola, aloha. Um, how's everyone doing? So yeah, it's been a minute. Feels like. Hope everyone's doing well. It's March 5th, March 6th technically, and we have a new moon coming up on the 10th. I believe, is that Saturday or Sunday? That would be, it is Sunday, but the new moon happens at 12:58 a.m. So Saturday night, technically Sunday morning. And it's the new moon in Pisces at 20 degrees. And our new moon last month, which was in Aquarius, was also at 20 degrees. And 20 degrees is a Scorpio degree, which is connected to letting go and getting rid of unsavory issues. It's like really bringing up those things that we haven't, that we typically don't care to face. Like it's the undesirable side of life. And last month, the new moon in Aquarius was squaring Uranus in Taurus. This month, the new moon in Pisces is sextiling the Uranus in Taurus. And that's a very cooperative aspect, which Stephen Forrest describes sextiles as excitation. So there's like a creative opportunity between the Taurus and Pisces energies. And with it being a new moon, it's like new beginnings. So it's the moon, which is our emotions, and the sun, which is our vitality, making having a cooperative conversation with Uranus, the planet of sudden, unexpected events or aha moments. And in the sign of Taurus, this could be related to our stability, our foundations. Could be something related to our physical body, how we absorb things that affect our five senses, whether it's audio, visual, sensory, like touch, feel, taste. And so this can also be, like I consider this new moon in Pisces at 20 degrees, like a feeling of overcoming detachment because of the 20 degrees relating to Scorpio, and with it also sextiling Uranus. Uranus also shakes things up and kind of like dismantles things in order for things to fall into place. And so that also involves a letting go or a detachment or a crumbling, a dismantling of, could be beliefs, belief systems, ideas, delusions, illusions. And at the same time, it's like an emergence of new ideas and beliefs and fantasies. Fantasies are manifestations, and this can also be like a surrendering to all of the things that have been going on, things that have just been kind of like coming to a head, like realizing that there is an ending to everything. All good things must come to an end. And there's like a build up to this. I mean, of course, there's always like these energies work together. There's nothing really isolating about these transits. And the universe works in mysterious ways. Like it's such an intelligent, brilliant operation that each aspect is kind of like a building block or a prelude or a setup for the next coming transits and coming energies. And I mean, today Mars, for example, Mars, the ruler of our North Node, is in that cooperative aspect to Chiron, the wounded healer in Aries, and Mars in Aquarius, which is a very mental sign, like very cerebral, brilliant ideas, out of the box thinking, rebellious as well, is making this cooperative aspect to Chiron, the wounded healer in Aries, at 17 degrees. And 17 is connected to Leo, which is all about unabashed self-expression, really coming from the heart. Could be instinctive, impulsive, and very creative, just putting yourself out there. So I kind of see this moment as audacious resilience. And so Chiron being the wounded healer, it's really like bouncing back, like coming back and, you know, having that courage and bravery to overcome those wounds or the insecurities that we all have to some degree. And this is a collective energy. Chiron in Aries, and some of us also have Chiron in Aries in our personal charts. So, I mean, for those of us who do have Chiron in Aries, this Mars sextile Chiron can be a very empowering energy for us as well, to like really like go outside of the box, because Mars is a doing kind of energy, and really kind of like sticking it to them, like being that rebellious, having that rebellious energy to not live from the wounds that we have suffered or struggled through. And so that's March 6th, and later on in the day, the moon moves into Aquarius, and so it'll be in Aquarius until, for a few days, I believe until March 8th, and so it will eventually also meet up with Mars at 17 degrees, like really activating this audacious resilience to help us overcome like the wounds, the collective wounds of victimhood, or like not being seen, not being enough, or not knowing, or feeling insecure about who we really are, you know, how we instinctively feel, and who we identify, or how we instinctively identify as or with, you know. And then Mercury on the 8th will come into a conjunction with Neptune. So Mercury in Pisces, also Neptune in Pisces, will meet up at 27 degrees, which is a Gemini degree, which is all about communication, messages, and these messages can kind of, like, I think of this aspect as like messages in the mist. You know, it's not very clear what's coming through. So as far as doing anything that requires a lot of left brain detail and organization, probably not a great time. You know, not a great transit for those detail-oriented tasks, but for those creative, you know, writing or poetry, like meditative, creative, acts, you know, like art, painting, dancing, you know, doing those kind of things with Mercury conjunct Neptune would be great for this. But as far as like trying to get detailed information from someone, or like and from any kind of source, might not be reliable. So it's really an important time to be careful with information that you are looking for. Like if you're looking for, you know, concrete evidence, or like, you know, facts, this wouldn't be the day to do that. But yeah, anything creative is definitely going to be, it would be a good time to take advantage of as far as creative endeavors, especially at a Gemini degree, like writing, journaling, singing as well. Let's see. And the moon will enter Pisces later on in the evening on March 8th. And then there's a pretty, I guess, I mean, it's going to be, the whole week is going to be very, like, disruptive energies, and it can, like, I don't want to say, treacherous, you know, it could just be like a, like, you just have to be very flexible, and, you know, keep an eye out for sudden moves, and, like, you know, this is going to be a Mars in Aquarius squaring Uranus in Taurus at 19 degrees, and 19 is connected to Libra, so it could be related to relationships. Libra is also connected to beauty and the arts, and so there could be some sudden, I mean, Mars, like, I see this as a unexpected audacity, or it could be like provocation, provocation. Could be provocation unleashed. So getting into any kind of scuffles, or I would probably stay out of any kind of tension, or I would stay out of any kind of, like, I would mind your own business. I would mind my own business during this particular transit on the 9th, and it's like kind of building up to that, as a couple days before, as of the 6th, 7th. It could probably be felt, and then even after, like the 9th, 10th, 11th, this energy could be felt. So I mean, as far as like a positive energy coming out of this, there could be, impactful conversations if people can keep conversations at a inquisitive, respectful level. Then Mars square Uranus can really bring about like really important, impactful conversations. But be prepared to bump into some egoic or egotistical comments. And at the same time, the Sun will be sextiling Uranus, and so with this particular cooperative aspect, with the Sun in Pisces and Uranus in Taurus, there could also be, some brilliant discoveries. And yeah, and then the moon, the new moon, then the new moon happens on early morning on the 10th, so 12:59 a.m. And right before that, so the same evening of the 9th, Mercury will move into Aries. And so Mercury moving into Aries, which is a fire sign, can be very impulsive, instinctive. Like, it's very different from Mercury in Pisces. Mercury in Pisces was all about the emotions and like less words and more imagery, probably just communicating through emojis rather than words, or like there's more of a loss of words with Mercury in Pisces. With Mercury in Aries, it's about being instinctive and impulsive, and being responding right away and saying what's on your mind, like just coming from the heart, instinctive, impulsive, could be reactionary. And it will be in Aries until May 11th, which is longer than typical because of the retrograde that Mercury will be in from the 1st of April to the 25th, and it'll retrograde back at 27 degrees. So it'll go back over the last, 10 degrees or so, until about 15, 16 degrees of Aries. So it'll retrograde from 27 back to almost 60 degrees until the 25th, and then it'll cover those degrees again up until like the first, second week of May. So yeah, a lot of impulsive conversations, dialogue, comments, messages. So that's going to be probably a busy time. But yeah, the new moon in Pisces will be between Neptune. It'll be between Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, and so we have this stellium in Pisces that's really asking us to have that big picture and kind of zoom out and have the compassion and unconditional acceptance of what is, like it is what it is, has been floating around, and that is kind of like the energy of Aquarius and Pisces, like just unconditional acceptance of what is, and having the with Jupiter in Taurus approaching Uranus in Taurus, there's this feeling of optimism of the unknown. And I mean, Uranus can be like sudden change, unexpected events, and so in about a month or so, on April 20th, Jupiter is going to meet up with Uranus. Jupiter is the ruler of the traditional ruler of Pisces, which is all about expansion and blessings and wisdom. And Uranus is the ruler of the modern ruler of Aquarius, which is technology, advancement, experimentation. And so when Jupiter meets up with Uranus, this is, and I mean, it's kind of like a build up to that energy as well. I mean, granted, like Jupiter's at 11 or 12 degrees, and Uranus is at 19 at the moment. So there's still like, what is that, 7 degrees orb difference. But the effects of these outer planets are like so strong. It's kind of, you know, some of us can kind of see this and feel this like building up, and it's an optimistic feeling of, you know, having this trust in the universe, and like, but not knowing how it's going to turn out. And with the Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus energies in a very harmonious or like cooperative aspect to all the planets in Pisces, this is very compatible manifestation energy. Like earth and water are able to build something super super sustainable and like beautiful. And it's like the imagery or the vision imagination of Pisces, and the know-how and like the grounding capabilities of Taurus, and those two merging can create this, you know, really beautiful dream. So yeah, I mean, it's very exciting to see how these planets are, you know, orchestrating and conspiring in our favor, like for real. Another thing that I noticed about the new moon on the 10th, I think it's going to be the same day, if not the next day on the 11th, but Saturn will oppose Juno, and so Saturn in Pisces opposes Juno in Virgo, and Juno's the goddess of marriage. I consider Juno to be like the marriage manager, and so it has a lot to do with collaboration and working together, and just kind of like having that instinctive know-how of how the dynamics work out together, like, and is able to help maintain a connection. And it's at an 11 degree opposition, so Saturn at 11 degrees and Juno at 11 degrees, and 11 degrees is connected to Aquarius, and Aquarius is related to liberation and freedom, and like doing things differently. And there could be a need or a struggle for freedom, or a struggle for something more exciting. And so there could be that like kind of push and pull or tug of war between like what the limitations or the restrictions are, and what like the kind of like the rules are, what's expected, you know, in the relationship. And so, yeah, that energy could be playing out if you are in, if you're connected in, if you are involved in a collaboration, you know, relationships, marriage, anything that has to do with working together, you know. And so that is happening at the same time, the same day as the new moon. And then March 11, Venus moves into Pisces, which Venus is like the exalted in Pisces, and so like Pisces has like a VIP seat for Venus whenever she passes through Pisces, because Venus is all about relationships and like, you know, keeping the peace and harmony. And so with Venus in Pisces, Pisces loves, you know, acceptance and oneness, you know, like realizing that we are all connected and we all come from source. And so having Venus in Pisces, Pisces loves it when Venus like sweetens things, sweetens relationships, and like helps us to really just add that like cherry on top when it comes to relating to people. So that's something to look forward to, especially if you are Pisces. So yay, I'm looking forward to that. And I believe it'll be in Pisces, I want to say, until April. What does it mean? Let's see. Venus will be in Pisces until April 4th. So we have about 3 weeks to enjoy that. Let me see. Was there anything else I wanted to mention about this? There's going to be this event or realization that needs to be released, and then an emphasis on moving toward and being more about the North Node in Aries, like having the courage and bravery to go after the things that light us up, you know, the things that we authentically identify with. And there's going to be a lot of support with this particular transit, because these energies in Pisces are going to be moving into Aries. So we already have the Sun in Aries at this point, and then Venus and Mars will be right behind it. So there's going to be a lot of supportive, like, you know, positive energy, with, especially with Venus, like having your values. Our values are going to be in alignment with the North Node in Aries, and so that's going to be something to look forward to. And before we know it, Jupiter will be in Gemini, which will be in a cooperative aspect to all these Aries energies, because air and fire get along, and that will be very productive. Like, we'll be able to see those kind of changes take place, because Jupiter going into Gemini, which is a mutable sign, will create movement and, like, you know, kind of be that transition phase of letting go of the old and coming into new ideas and, like, new endeavors, and being really busy with Jupiter and Gemini, pursuing those genius ideas. So yeah, I don't want to get too far ahead. So the new moon in Pisces is preparing us for all of these big energies that are on the horizon. Jupiter moving into Gemini is going to be a big change, and I mean, Pluto's already moved into Aquarius. It'll dip back into Capricorn for a hot minute in September, October, November, and then we also have let's see, I mean, Neptune is already at 27 degrees, and before we know it, Saturn will be meeting up with Neptune. I mean, that's probably not going to be for, I think it's another year. But, you know, the new moon in Pisces is really asking us to pay attention to, you know, the things that we don't have the energy for, so that we can make room for what we are spiritually, authentically aligned with. So I hope that made sense. I hope that was helpful. Yeah, it's really important to stay grounded and flexible, and allow that time and space for others around you to, so, you know, allow yourself time and space to stay grounded and stay flexible and treat your body right. You know, get into those, you know, spiritual rituals. I've been doing those salt baths. I mean, like Isu or Shirtle Light suggested doing salt baths, but since I don't have a bathtub, like taking salt, regular salt, you can do sea salt, and cleansing your chakras every day. So, you know, like going from the top, the crown, the third eye, to your throat, heart, your sacral chakra, root, is that it? Heart, sacral, root, sacral, heart, throat, third eye, crown. I'm missing one. But yeah, just doing like a chakra cleanse with salt every day, and imagining before you walk out, like protecting your energy, and imagining like a clear protective bubble. And, you know, just knowing that you're protected from any energy forces that do not serve you, so that you can retain and protect your energy. So these are just important, like, and then meditating also, and so it doesn't need to be like, you know, sitting in silence for an hour or whatever. You can also consider it as mindful dishwashing, or mindful, you know, folding the clothes, like whatever it might be, walking, you know, just something that, playing with your pets, you know, like playing with your children. Just, it's this focused play where you're not overthinking, you're not like distracted, or you're not being pulled away from your centeredness, you know, like anything that keeps you centered is meditation. Something that keeps you like in your joy, or you're doing something like when you're not multitasking, you know, and you're enjoying what you're doing or what you're listening to, or I mean, yeah, even a movie that's like a fantasy fantasy, like a movie like in that fantasy realm or a genre where you're like visually your nervous system is like calm, and you know, it's like that like centeredness, you know, you feel at peace when you're watching or when you're taking in this information, or you know, whatever it is that you're absorbing. And so yeah, just keeping those practices keeping those practices keeping those practices you know, regular, keeping those practices regular, and you know, if we can keep on doing that, then we'll, you know, the better off we'll be. So before Venus enters Pisces, it'll be at 27 degrees Aquarius, which is going to be sextile the galactic center, and that speaks to, in my opinion, like gifts of intuition. So gifts of intuition can come through when Venus is sextile the galactic center. So that'll be, you know, something to pay attention to. Maybe that'll be, that'll arrive in dream form. I guess it depends on where your Venus is located. But yeah, and that can come in easier. I mean, it's different for everybody. Some people use plant medicine to access these kind of connections. Ideally, if you know the vessel is clean and clear of foreign, like I guess entities or chemicals, or you know, whatever it might be, where it's like pure connection, would be ideal. But yeah, hopefully that made sense. Hopefully that made sense and it was helpful. And you know, yeah, feel free to hit me up if you're curious about your chart and how these energies are affecting you, and how to like kind of balance out or mitigate these, you know, intense energies. There's always ways to kind of like counterbalance like the heaviness of whatever it might be. So yeah, feel free to hit me up. And